Something I'll share with Kat at the end of the presentation, and she'll be able to share with you as well as I'm happy to share the presentation, is a study that was just released by the Harvard Business School through their Managing the Future of Work group called the Partnership Imperative. Community colleges, employers, and America's chronic skills gap. Now, I've been a skills gap person for 20 years. Fully believe that it's a concern for us as a country, and how do we help shorten that skills gap. Now, the report was not glowing, but it was a very comprehensive report, and it really talks about how colleges and employers really need to reboot and expand our partnerships to make it so that we can create a better employee for you. Right now across the country, there's a lot of challenges that we need to meet. Millions of vacant positions throughout the country. Mike was talking about the number of jobs currently open in Kansas, in Wyandotte County through the YEDC. The last Jobs EQ report was there are 9,600 open jobs in Wyandotte County. That's up quite a bit from some of our previous numbers. But this study, it's an exhaustive study. It took multiple years and identified some very specific actions that, working together as a P3, we can help meet your workforce needs. So some of the things that they came up with, there were really 3 goals that came out of this study. Of course, number one is partnering with each other so that we ensure that the education, the technical training, the hands-on work, the labs work, the internship work is really in line with industry needs. Coming from business and industry, I get that, and that's really where I focus a lot of time on. The other thing is real-world learning, on the job training, and as we call learn and earn, very much like apprenticeships and the different models. It recommends that we really work more closely together on the recruiting and hiring of students that graduate from our programs, whether it's a certificate or an associate's degree. We really have to align much better so that you are aware when these individuals become available, and through the work with you on curriculum development and support with equipment or supplies, materials, financial support, that we can also get these students jobs when they graduate. In today's current economy, it's really not hard to get them jobs. There's often a lot of competition for the graduates that we have. And then really making those decisions based on supply and demand. And that's why the partnerships with Commerce, with Wyandotte Economic Development Council and others in business and industry are important, that we really have, and we're working on the latest data. Part of honestly, the problems, the frustration with business and industry that they have with colleges, and more so with universities, but even with community colleges, are that we're not sending them out there with the exact skills that they need to hit the ground running when they come to you. And working together, we can help solve that. So this really is, it's a new era for workforce education. We've been doing customized training in a traditional manner for years and years and years. But we're looking at expanding, and what we're doing is actually what Harvard found that colleges and industry need to do. But to touch on some of the offerings, we have full 2-year degree offerings in Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, and then our technical programs and Associate of Applied Science degrees. We have short-term certificates. So we'll have maybe a 16 or a 30 credit hour short-term college certificate. We call that certificate A. And then we'll have a certificate B. And then we'll have the certificate C, which is also leads to an associate degree. So this gives your workers the opportunity, or potential workers, to come get trained, get some skill sets so that they can go out and start working, and then they can return to continue on whatever that academic technical path is for them. Because the long game and the short game, as Mike mentioned, we really want to make sure that we meet your needs. But as a college, we're also looking out for what's in the best interest and for the long term for students. And we all know the way that a lot of the systems work. It's if they want to advance off the floor and get into the different offices and management, a degree does help with that. Embedded apprenticeships, we'll talk about that more later, and what we're doing with the Office of Apprenticeship. And one of the new things that has been here for a while, but it's gaining momentum, are the micro credentials. They can be both credit and non-credit, and we'll dig into that a little bit later as well. From the college perspective and how we can work together with business and industry, there's a couple models that I've worked with quite a bit. When I was VP at the technology campus for Oklahoma State University, we had two primary programs. One is a company supported or an OEM supported model. A lot of people think about, they can understand it quickly. That's automotive technology programs. You know, there's a GM program, a Dodge, a Chevy, a Toyota program that trains students specifically for working on those vehicles from those OEMs, and those are really heavily supported by those OEMs. We had those, along with automotive, we had diesel, we have Caterpillar, Komatsu, Greco, you know, the list goes on, a lot of natural gas. And then the other, which is actually more affordable for our business partners, is a consortium supported model. So I'll use OSU IT as another example. In the natural gas compression field, we had multiple companies that work in that sector that came together to help support the program and buy equipment and scholarship students, so that they could graduate. The bill was a lot more consumable by the business and industry, because you could split it 30 different ways, however many are in your consortium. And then the other thing is really beginning those conversations early and as soon as possible. Working with Commerce and the Y.EDC, you know, we're very involved in business attraction. So, you know, the Panasonic is a great example. Urban Outfitters is another example. We have a new company that's just moving into Wyandotte County, that's otherwise fairly local. Orange EV, they make the yard trucks to move containers around and such. It's all electric. They started it from scratch. They're not here yet, but we're already developing a curriculum built off of courses that we already have existing, but then they will have some specific courses for Orange EV that they need to help build their trucks here. So doing that as soon as possible. You know, another project, it's called Premier 2 is the project name. We're doing the same thing. They're not here yet, but you know, we are working to help develop a curriculum for them. Many other examples like that. Flexibility is key, definitely. Some of the other models that we're working with on the consortium level is we're working with a statewide association that has a huge job opening number. So as an association, they're kicking in a certain dollar amount to help offset the faculty cost, because technical faculty can cost more than gen ed faculty. So they're helping us with that. for businesses to really understand. So it's like, we're not just coming to you because we just want extra money. As I explain it, we are a not-for-profit, but we're also not for loss, right? So help us break even, and that's our goal. So that's the W3. It's a win-win-win. So it's a win for our business partners to get you trained candidates. It's a win for the students who can go into a lot of the high-paying jobs that all of you offer. And I saw the invite list, so it's great to see that. And it's a win for the college because we can if we break even, we can continue to serve and offer those programs. And flexibility, we're doing different things with different companies or industry sectors because we want to build something that is right for you.